educated gentleman in the studio with me. Not that my other listeners are not educated, but these are some special guests. So allow me to say good morning to both of these gentlemen. And welcome to Bermuda. How are you today?
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Now you could do better than that. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
All right. Allow me to say good morning to Dr. Jelando Jackson and Dr. James Moore, and they're visiting us here. So I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself to my listening audience. Dr. Jackson, start. I'm going to start with you.
Yes. Again, my name is Jelando Jackson. I'm from the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and I serve as chair of the International Colloquium on Black Males.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm James Moore. I'm from The Ohio State University, and I'm the co-chair of the Colloquium.
Okay. Now, is this your first time here in Bermuda?
My second time.
Your
We
second
came
time.
to do a site visit.
Mm-hmm.
My first time, but
And-
I've been here in my dreams and in my imagination prior
Okay.
to.
Now, I see that you're here for the educational transitions and life educational transitions and life trajectories, bridging pathways to successful black males. That is a title that most people will say, okay, I'm interested. So enlighten us a bit more about why you're here and what can my listening audience get from this global event?
Sure. So the International Colloquium actually pulls together a unique grouping of individuals. It brings top researchers, high impact practitioners, policymakers, funders, and students in a rich space for dialogue to try to understand some key dynamics. And within that context, we also have a pre-colloquium set of efforts that starts today, where on today or this evening there will be an invitation-only event, the Policy Roundtable, where in conjunction with Bermuda College and our other local planning committee, we'll be hosting approximately 35 policy influencers, where we'll be able to walk through some key agenda items with the goal of having some longitudinal effect. On Tuesday, there will be two events at Bermuda College. One would be the College Academy, where its focus is for K-12 students to learn and understand the educational benefits of college. And then the Graduate School Academy, which is also at Bermuda College, will also do a similar set of sessions, which is an all-day event focused to understand graduate post-secondary opportunities. That evening will be an open and free event to the community. There's two parts of something we call Colloquium Conversations. One will be targeted mostly toward teachers and school principals, where to be a focus around school-based standards. And then the second would be focused on parents and community, which will unpack the role and value that parents and community play in the educational process of black males.
Okay. Dr. Moore?
Well, this is a gathering of the thought leaders and practitioners and scholars, which is a rare occasion to bring all together. Usually the academy, higher education, operates in a silo, but we're excited that we're bringing all these different individuals together, bringing their various perspectives from the different places they live across the globe. And really just the whole focus of the colloquium is around solutions. How do we improve the education status for black males from K to gray? As we know, many years ago, about 8 years ago, Dr. Jackson and his former graduate student, now professor, wrote a paper, and we began to recognize that the issues that we were noticing in the U.S. was not just limited to the U.S. We were noticing the spiraling decline among black males in education in Canada, in the UK, throughout the Caribbean, in various parts of Africa. And then we said, this would be a unique opportunity for us to start bringing people together, and maybe we may identify best practices and solutions to these challenges that we can really improve the status for black males in our various places around the globe.
Now, I'm sure that you gentlemen have interacted with many young people over the years, either day to day, in your day to day life, why do you think there's a breakdown when it comes to black males and the education system? Or maybe some of them don't think that they're, how would I put this? They don't identify anymore with going to college for some. You always see a lot of young women, young girls going into college, but some of our young men are just like, oh, well, it is what it is, whatever. Where, how can we bridge the gap? Where does the paradigm shift come into play to?
We talk about how the stigma placed on black males have affected the construction or social construction around education. And when you have a system that does not or is not responsive to your learning styles, may not be responsive to your lived realities, who may see you in ways that don't characterize you as an achiever, as a learner, as someone that's committed to the environment, it's very easy to decide at some point in that trajectory that there's no value in the educational process for you, because you see outcomes even with your diploma to be different from your counterparts. And so when you look at these realities, unless they become something that's unpacked in meaningful ways, and even those that might find themselves as creating some of these scenarios, until they have greater awareness that we're putting these young people into systems that aren't as responsive to their needs as they should be.
Okay. Now, with this free public forum that's going to be taking place tomorrow, 6:30 to 8:30, the conversation that is going to be held, what do you hope to achieve with regards to having these conversations with any and everyone, whether it's educators or parents alike, to make a difference between the black males and them understanding the importance of education? And maybe it's not college, but just for them to maybe pick up a book and understand that, it's more to life than Segi pens. And not saying that everyone has the Segi pens, but being educated and reading a book is important.
I'll be succinct. We've been talking about this, and any place we go, we just don't want it to be an academic conversation. We're hoping that we'll be able to galvanize and mobilize individuals to create a collective impact, bringing various stakeholders together who don't always work together, to break down the silos and focus on what are the issues, because we know you can't solve the problem if you don't identify what the issues. And so many times people say we know what the issues are, but we don't always agree on the methodology that we're going to use to address these issues. There's some unique things. Unfortunately, this is an unfortunate thing. Much of the popular and scientific literature around black males tend to be highly dominated by United States and the UK. We don't know as much about the Caribbean, even though increasingly over the last 20 or 30 years we've been getting many studies that come out, is really bringing folks together and say, okay, this is what we need to do. This is the role of families. This is the role of the school. What are the role of policymakers? Because it's going to take a collective impact. And it's just not just, oftentimes black males see themselves how others see them. And unfortunately, they're not always seen as an individual. They're seen as a part of a group. And when they're seen as a part of a group, it's not always positive. It's very difficult to untangle the positive aspects of it. But I would say 5 things that I think are critical for the community to think about. How do we, interest is a critical piece. How do we stimulate their curiosity and interest for learning? One. Not only how do you stimulate it, how do you sustain it? Because we know some kids come in school, they didn't always underachieve and low achieve. Something happened along as they continue to progress through the educational system. So we want to make sure we match students according to their aspirations and their abilities. I'm not saying track it, but ensure, rather than create schools that we want the schools to adapt to the kids rather than the schools expecting the kids to adapt to. We want to create student-centered schools.
Mm-hmm.
The second piece is preparation. Are we ensuring that each kid is getting the same preparation? You know, people choose private schools for a reason, and so naturally, people think you're getting something different from a private, from a public. And what are those things? How do we ensure that those things are embedded within
Exactly.
the public? The other one is connections. We know you can have interest in preparation, but connections are equally critical. To have access to people like Dr. Gelando, which we think our college academy is going to play a critical role, because some people have ideas, but they're so abstract. They don't know how to translate that abstract idea into a moving action. The other one is experiences. How do we ensure that you have quality experiences that augment or supplement your academic experiences? And last but not least, opportunities. Your degree of interest, your preparation, connections, all of them impact the degree of opportunities. We can give young men, and I know I hear this all around the country, and I even heard it on the island. Oh, we have these opportunities, but we can't get the young men to access them. Well, if they're not prepared for them, you can give all the opportunities in the world. We got to ensure that people have the preparation to be able to access those opportunities.
Okay, before I let you go, for those that are tuned in, I've been talking with Dr. James Moore from the Ohio State University and Dr. Gelando Jackson, University of Wisconsin. The words today, University of Wisconsin-Madison. Now, for those of you that are tuned in, October 4th through the 7th at the Fairmont Southampton Hotel. Tomorrow is going to be a free public forum from 6:30 to 8:30. And you can also go to the website www.globalcolloquium.org. Both of you gentlemen, obviously educated, you enjoy education, you want to make a difference in the lives of black males and, you know, individuals alike. One question for both of you, maybe 30 seconds or less. What did your parents do differently with you that you see some parents may not are doing right now with their young men? Dr. Jackson.
For me, I think it's clear that my parents provide an environment for me to explore my interests. They didn't understand most of what I wanted to do, but they understood that if they allowed me to pursue those dreams, fail or succeed, that I'd be a much better person. And being the first person to go to college in my family, trying to even understand what a doctor of philosophy degree is was a stretch. So, but they may not be able to tell you exactly in detail what I do today, but they certainly can tell you that they are key in the reason I'm able to do what I do today.
Okay, Dr.
Yeah,
Moore?
I would say similar things, but I would just add that I think it's important, but the parents, in order to create an educational stimulating environment, you have to know your child. You don't treat all your children the same. A good parent give their kids what they need, and I think my parents did that. And one of the things my mother said, and she's deceased now, but it's embedded in my work, she said that my job was to find something that you would do exceptionally well in. So it's incredible because you draw from that when you go through rainy moments or you enter an academic rigorous space that this does not seem like it's for you, because you draw for it and say, I was successful in that. So I think it's important that parents get very familiar with their children and go to no end to ensure that their kids getting the world-class education that they all deserve on this island, in the United States, and across the world.
Okay, Dr. Jackson, Dr. Moore, thank you so much for coming by. For those of you that are interested in this event, I should say, I'm going to give you a little bit of information. For local registration, you can email cmos@wisc.edu. You can also go to the website at www.globalcolloquium.org. October 4th through the 7th at Fairmont Southampton Hotel. And also tomorrow is going to be a free public forum from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. So all the information is there for you. This is for everyone, especially because it's free and it's a public forum, not just for educators and parents alike, but you would encourage for them to bring their young men, correct?
Yes.
All ages?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And their husbands.
And their husbands.
And
all right.
boyfriends.
And boyfriends. Dads, we are not leaving you out this morning. Good morning to you. It's about that time for me to segue into the sports, but allow me to say thank you both for coming by. I'm sure this public forum and the rest of the events that follow is going to be amazing, and I'm sure that you're going to make an impact not only in the lives of our young men, but parents alike and educators. So I wish both of you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you. I'll talk to you in just a moment. We are Power